Hi there, Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you? Sorry I'm 2 minutes late. I was trying to figure out how to publish in the event and it didn't quite work. So we'll get there. And yes, I know, I've got this one crazy flip and it's just driving me a little insane today. So, how are you? Hey Iris, how are you, hun? So for tonight, I'm going to remind you the designer series paper is on sale for the entire month. So it's a good time to stock up. What else am I going to remind you about? Tonight we've got a lot of moving parts, so I want to get started fairly quick. Let's see. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, be looking in your mailbox if you haven't already got your red shiny envelope surprise. You should have also gotten an email with a link to a video. So there's that. Let's see what else is going on. The next Paper Pumpkin, of course. And then, of course, we also have High Five. So if you have non-crafty friends that want custom orders, that is a good way to get 5 cards for 30 bucks within 5 days shipped. So you got yours today. Great. Awesome. So without anything else, I think I'm going to put you down, and if I remember other stuff, we'll get to it as it goes. And let's see. I should tell you, I got a brand new stamp set, Curvy Celebrations, I believe it's called. It'll go live for customers, for you guys, on November 4th. Hold on. I'm trying to remember. I think it's 4th. Might be 3rd. Anyways, so I'm going to be demonstrating some of that next week, so you'll want to tune in because there will be brand new stuff, as well as you want to pay attention to next week because I will be doing trick or treat all week long, and there will be an email that goes out Monday talking about all the details for all week long. So without anything else, I'm going to put you down and we're going to get to creating. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this right. Alrighty. I think we're set. So if you've joined me, please say hello. Please, please, please say hello. Don't be a stranger. Let's see here. Let's see. 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna mute my computer and we're gonna get this going. Okay, now we're good. All right. Hey, Lise, how are you, hun? So for tonight, we're gonna do a floating letters card, and guess who needs out? 1 second. Of course. The fur ball always needs out as soon as I get situated and sat down. All right, so for tonight, we are going to be doing something similar to this card. And I say similar because we're going to have a couple things reversed and that kind of thing. But it's going to be darn close. So, not a problem. So, first and foremost, let's get measurements down for you. So we're using the Hollow's Night Magic stamp set, the Halloween Magic dies, that is for your spider here. We've got the Playful Alphabets, which I don't have the envelope right in front of me, but here's some of the letters, now that they're all over the place, but hey, it's okay. And then we've got the stitch-shaped framelits dies. So that's the dies portion. Then I have a block. I have Memento ink. I have my glimmer paper. I have my metallic mesh. Hey Cheryl, how are you, hun? I've got my metallic mesh. I've got my Stampin' Seal that has a glue dot stuck to the side of it, I think, because it keeps sticking to the table. Oh well. I've got what's left of my dimensionals. I have a scrap piece of Whisper White. Or if Heidi were on, white. Because you gotta whisper when you say it, right? So, all right, so I've got that designer series paper that matches the Hollows Night. And this is the same piece, just reversed, shall we say? And then I've got a piece of thick Whisper White cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That valley side is going to go on our outside. Those mountains or the bump is going to go on the inside. So there we go. All right, so let's get started, shall we? So here's what I'm going to do. First and foremost, we're going to stamp our Halloween. So I get the ink out of the way. So I've got, all right, so a couple tricks for you guys. I don't know if you know this. So there's a couple different ways to stamp only a portion of your stamp that you want. So for instance, I'm using on this card, I'm using Halloween and not Happy Halloween. So there's a couple different ways you can do this, okay? So you can, let's take Trick or Treat. So you can take one of our markers with the brush tip, the broad tip, and you can ink only the side that you want to use. Because our inks are water-based, you can huff on them and then bring them back to life and you can stamp that portion. You can take washi tape and take the tape and cover the part that you don't want ink it up, peel the tape off, which is usually the part I forget, and then peel the tape off and then be ready to go and not have ink on that side. Or you could do the barbaric thing, which is what I tend to do, and you can take a scissors to your stamp, okay? Now, I will say this, don't take a scissors to your stamp on the sticker side, because what if you missed by 1 millimeter and then you cut your stamp in half? You need to pay attention to the rubber side, okay? So I'm using Halloween. So we are putting that back, but I only need Halloween. So there we go, okay? So I'm gonna grab my block. I'm gonna grab my Halloween. If you want it straight, grab your grid squares, make it as straight as you can, and then put your block down. Now, some of you, in the last class I had, some of you had halos. And what I mean by that is the border of the block or the stamp kind of gave a little line that was extra that we didn't want. What you need to do, a lot of that is not necessarily the pressure that you put on, too heavy, too light, but usually too heavy, by the way, if you have halos, but it's actually the fact that you need a block that fits correctly. So what you need to do is, with your stamp, you need to make sure that you have enough room to see the edges just barely on all sides, and that's how you know it's a properly fitting block. So for instance, this is too big a block because I have a lot of space up here. So if I'm inking, I have tendency to do this, and then, hey, guess what? I've got ink on my block, right? And then that's gonna go on my card. So what you wanna do is get it as well fitting as possible so you see the edges so you know where it's stamping. You don't want it past the corners. And what I mean by that, hold on. What I mean by that is, like, this is a smaller block and I'm doing this, and I'm sideways and I don't necessarily see all the corners. So that's not something you want to do. Let me put that back. You want to be able to see all your edges, but not too much of them. So that way you get a proper fit. So you don't have stuff hanging off the edge, so you get a proper image. And then on top of it, you will not be rocking and rolling as much. So there you go with that. There's your tip for the day. So I'm gonna grab my Memento ink and I'm gonna grab my Halloween, because we're gonna do happy at another time, right? And I'm just grabbing. You wanna make sure to hold it down for a couple seconds. So I guess I should ask you, what was for dinner? Lise, was it breakfast? She has themed nights for dinner. So I like that, but I can't always remember the themes. So I'm pulling out the rest of my die cuts because I want to run this all through at one time. So I'm going to grab my spider, and then I'm grabbing my oval out of these stitch shapes. So if you're wondering, the numbers on here is how many dies are in the set. It's not necessarily how many are in the envelope, but it's how many are in the set that are supposed to be in the envelope. I think stitch shapes, I use it all the time, and I think stitch shapes is down to 8 instead of 12 or something like that. So whatever, it happens. All right, so now I need to grab my card base and I need to glue my first mat on. Tacos, pizza. Man, I'm coming to your house, you guys. I haven't eaten yet. I've been doing this. Tara's in class, my daughter, until 8 o'clock tonight. So guess what? I'm cooking after we finish. We're having leftover lasagna and a big old honker salad. Yeah, technical term. All right, so we got our seal going. If you've been having trouble with the seal, I will tell you this. You might want to try the Seal Plus before you give up, because it is a different feel. Just FYI for you. Okay, so now we're going to grab our inner mat and we're going to create this space, right? So our letters, I believe, are 3/4. 3/4, I believe. Yep, just over 3/4. Our spider's a little bigger, but that's okay. So you want, if you don't want to have to deal with your letters touching the paper, then you want about a 1/4 inch gap for this card specifically. Okay, if you want them touching, then you need to do just a smidge over 3/4. I think that would be what, 7/8? No, 6, yeah, 7/8. So anyways, couple tips for you though. When you cut your mat, if you're doing ribbon in the background, which is what I have, do not cut corner to corner, because then you gotta finagle a corner with your ribbon. I'll explain in a second as I'm cutting. So what I'm doing here is, yes, I'm using the other side and it is okay. But what I'm doing here, okay, I want this to lean this way. I'm trying to figure out how to cut. All right, so what I'm doing here is I am going right below the corner. Okay, so this is going to be our top piece. And then I'm going an inch in, and if you're a little bit under, that's okay, because our words are an inch, you know, just 3/4, a little bit over. So what you want to do is take the same angle, scooch it over to your inch line, and then use your grid lines to make sure it's straight, because it's going to look goofy because you got it sideways. Okay, so this is trash, scrap, punch, whatever you want to do with it. Okay, all right, so now Where'd my card base go? So this is gonna go here. This is gonna go here, okay? So in here is what we gotta mess with, we'll just say, okay? And I just realized I glued this down and I had to tuck ribbon in. So we're gonna see how, yeah, it's down pretty good, but the edges are not, so it's okay. Always something interesting. So we're gonna throw this across there. You're gonna cut, it's about 7 inches, give or take. And you're just gonna kind of, how do I explain this? You're just gonna kind of lay everything across so you know where your ribbon goes. Because you are gluing it down from the back side. But honestly, gee, what happened? I already glued down, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut and figure it out. So here we go. Eyeball central. Thankfully this ribbon is forgiving because it's got mesh to it and isn't like a straight line weave. Otherwise we'd be up, you know what? What creek, right? So, all right, so I'm grabbing my Stampin' Seal. Obviously this one's gonna look different. Always an adventure, right? So I'm just tacking the edge of my ribbon here. Okay, I don't want it to glue to the paper. And then I am sticking this up here so that way I have it where it needs to be, right? So since I don't have the other piece of paper down yet, I'm just gonna trim a little bit of this edge off. Make sure all those little pieces come out because I don't want them stuck behind anything, right? Okay. And then we're gonna grab our seal and we're gonna put it on the paper and then we're going to throw this down. Now look, hey, guess what? Because I did all this, it's not working right? So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna add another strip of ribbon so I don't have to stress over this. Not a big deal. Really not a problem at all. So, improvise, overcome, adapt. What's the name of that ribbon? Metallic mesh ribbon. I wanted to give you the technical term. Metallic mesh. I love it. And after Halloween's done, it will become a great topper for my gift bags and that kind of stuff because it is so forgiving. And because of all the tangles, when you do a slip knot, it stays tight. So you don't have to deal with bows. So it's going to be a great gift wrap kind of thing because I won't have to worry about figuring out how to do bows when I'm in a hurry and, you know, the person's walking up the driveway, you know, all those kind of things. So because I have that ribbon down, I am going to grab some glue dots and grab my snips, piercing tool, take your pick tool, whatever the case may be. And I'm just going to throw them down on the corners so I don't end up with loosey-gooseys later. Yes, technical term. Big time technical. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. So wherever that fabric is, you're going to have a little bit of lift off with your paper. So you might want to just float a glue dot or two to ensure that your paper stays stuck where you want it to. Okay, so there we go. All right, now that we've accomplished and gone over that hurdle, alrighty, so we've got our ribbon, we've got our this, we've got our that, we've got our stamped Halloween, we've got our scratch glue dots are gonna go back in here because, hey, guess what? We're pretty much done with glue dots. All right, so now I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm just moving everything so I can grab it easily in one swipe. You're welcome, Iris, no problem. Alrighty, so for tonight, everything is with the dies. So if you have the new platform, thin dies, you are using 1, 2, and 3, double for 3. Okay, so here's 1, here's number 2, here's number 3. You want to rotate and kind of swing those around so you don't end up cutting in the same place all the time. And then the other number 3 I will put on top after I get situated. Alrighty, so I've got my glitter. Oh, this is stuck to the foam adhesive sheet. I've just cut that. When you're cutting with the trimmer, you need to cut it on one side and then flip it over and cut it again. So that way you have a cut line on both sides, and then all you got to do is kind of pop it a little and you'll be fine. No problem. You know what? I need to grab my envelope because I grabbed 2 A's instead of a Y. That's not good. We can't have HAPA. We need happy. So, give me just a second to find it. It does take a second because there's, I think, close to 50, let's see, 58 pieces in this marvelous envelope. Sorry, I just bumped. So where's my Y? Where is my Y? So let's find the Y, shall we? I might have to dump this. Nope, just found the Y. Alrighty. Sorry about that. I thought I grabbed, but I grabbed 2 A's instead. There are multiples, so it's awesome, but there are multiples. So sometimes you grab what you don't want, and that is okay. So I'm just scooching a little bit so I can get my spider on here with no flat spots, no problems. So there's my happy with a spider. And then I've got my Halloween. Okay. And I'm just going to throw this in here, squeeze down, make sure nothing's scooched and moved. And because that's got the foam adhesive sheet, I'm actually gonna run this through. It's tougher because it's a little thicker. I'm actually gonna run it through twice so I can ensure that that goes the way it's supposed to. So there we go. Alrighty, so we should be good on this whole entire thing. One sec. Alrighty, so this guy, yep, perfect. That is our Halloween. Awesome, awesome. And then for this one, you want to try to leave the letters in there so you peel them out and don't have to deal with the backing coming off and sticky stuff in places that you don't want it. When you're running this through your machine, whether it be Big Shot, whether it be your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, whatever it is, one quick tip: make sure your foam adhesive sheet, strips, whatever you're using, make sure it doesn't stick out beyond your paper. That way you don't have adhesive going through your machine. Otherwise, you have to run Goo Gone through your machine, and that's not fun. Now, is it? Okay, so I'm gonna grab here. I've already trimmed a little border of my dimensionals. And then for this guy, see, they cut through, but it's not completely through, but it's okay because it's just the sticker. So let's see here. we're gonna start with the spider. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say that, by the way. Start with the spider. So if your ribbon, this metallic mesh stuff, if that happens to be sticking up at all, guess what? This will help it stay down as well. So you just want to get that going. And then I'm going to grab my H and stick down. If you want it centered, make sure to pay attention. If you don't care, don't worry about it. All right, so my backing I need to peel off, and I need to get my hole out. Okay, so we're gonna stick our A on. Hi, Halls, how are you? Sorry you're late. You're good, honey. You'll have to catch it on the replay because I gave full instructions on how to do this one. You'll probably want to know this one since it's got the cool mesh and all that kind of stuff. So, say hi to Holly. Holly is a phenomenal hairstylist, colorist, cut, all that kind of stuff. She has her own salon in Fallbrook. And that is where my Tara goes to get her hair cut, colored, shaved, and God knows what else she's coming home with, and I'm okay with all of that. So it's a blast. So I'm gonna grab my Y here. If you want to look up Holly, if you feel like driving for an appointment, she's at, oh, Halls, help me out. Authentic. I have it bookmarked. Authentic. Anyways, put it in the comments, hon. I can't remember. Authentic something. But if you want to know later on, she's amazing and does amazing things with hair. So, just FYI, we got to support each other if we're in the crafters family, right? So, she does cool things. So, authentic hair. She also has leggings. She has a whole boutique. She sometimes has sunglasses. She has really cute stuff. So, you'll definitely want to follow her. Halls, when you hear this on the replay, if you're already gone, please put your link in there. So, definitely want to support her own. Alrighty, so those are our cards for tonight. Our happy Halloween. You'll have to look it up. Oh, you're too funny, hon. I know, we get so everything's bookmarked, so I can't remember anything. Anyways, we will get that link in there for you guys, because she definitely has some unique stuff with the holidays coming up. You could definitely support local, and she ships, and she has really cute tags. I wonder who she got them from. Anyways, so this is what I have for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great night. Follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com, and talk to you soon. Go create. Bye-bye.